Tomorrow it is West Ham versus Tottenham as the sorry, I'm about to sneeze and it's really put me off. Fantastic start to the show and the sneeze has gone. Welcome to our match preview of West Ham versus Tottenham as Spurs take the trip from north to east as this game is sandwiched in the middle of two pretty important games for them as they try and fight to gain a trophy, which they're just not going to get, are they? Welcome to West Ham Unofficial, and as you can see, I've been deserted by every single one of my guests tonight. All of them. Nobody's here, right? Honestly, cannot get the staff. I reckon we're going to have to start formulating a process of redundancy and rehiring, or not just hiring of guests, because I mean, can't be having this. Blimey. Anyway, let's see who's joining us in the chat. Good evening, Fathead. I hope you are well. We have had a good Saturday, a day with Jake and no football. Well, I mean, I don't know whether the day with Jake is a good thing, but I'm going to take it as a good thing. Fathead says, nice. Has he been driving you around or just around the bend? That's not very nice. That's not very nice. No, I'm not driving yet, although I have my certificate here. So yes, I was gonna take all the plaudits from my guests, but they just haven't turned up. So I guess that tells me everything I need to know, doesn't it? But there we are. Good evening, usual. Hope you are well. I know, Bonnie. Honestly, I know. It just all deserted me. The West Ham editor, thank you very much indeed for joining me as well. Now, the bad thing about that is now I've actually got to do some work because I've got to talk, because usually I can just start ask the questions and not even have to think about answers. Now, Jake has got to put his thinking cap on and actually think about what he's going to say, not just ask questions. So, Tottenham tomorrow is a game, of course, that has got increased importance for us. They can belittle it all they like, but the fact and reality of it is those 3,000 away match-going Spurs fans, they hate us. Of course they do, right? And we hate them. So this game should always have an increased level of bitterness, rivalry to it. Is that going to happen tomorrow? I don't know. I don't know, because it seems with West Ham we've reached a sense of irrelevance where nobody in that team seems particularly bothered about it, and that's been epitomised by the amount of late goals we've been conceding. It's like we've almost got to about 85, 90, went, that'll do, lads. Don't worry about it. And it's a really bad mentality. As I look down my fixtures results that I've got here, so we've had lots of games where we've conceded late on. Everton, we conceded late on. Liverpool, we conceded late on. Southampton, we conceded late on. Brighton, we conceded late on. It's a recurring theme and motive of the last couple of months, and it needs to be stopped, because how are we expected to get points and win games if we continue to concede late goals? It needs to be eradicated, and if we get ourselves into a position tomorrow where we're in a favourable one and we end up conceding late, I think there will be some pretty angry people. I know we'll be among them. After just doing 8 hours work at Greg's, if we concede a late goal, I might just lose it. Right, that's just a warning. I might just lose it. Right. Let's see who else is joining us. Thank goodness the season is nearly over and Potter wants to still come, and does he? I haven't seen that. Does he? Well, at least I do get first choice with the predictions. That is very true. But then I like to have last choice to then take Mike's, just swipe it away from him. So I'm just going to have no fun. No fun whatsoever. At least I've got some Malteser truffles to get me through. There's not many left. But other chocolates are, of course, available. And no, I'm not sponsored by these or any of the products that I have discussed on today's shows. If you were there earlier, if you know, kind of thing. Jack, that's a new one. Must find him. Don't know where he is, but yeah. Jake even. No worries. Oh, thank you very much. Well, I mean, that would give us some customers. It would give us something to do. It would be nice. Spurs only care about next Thursday. We only care about next season. So please, I'm not going tomorrow. Yeah, it's just reached a sense of apathy, really, hasn't it? The only game that matters anything for Tottenham until the end of the season is Thursday. Can they protect that lead over in Norway? And, I mean, it was all but done, but then it's just had a bit of increased, trepidation with Bodo Glimt scoring late on. So in the back of Andrew's head, I think there's only a 2-goal buffer, and that can go like that. Out there, artificial pitch, a bit of the unknown for that Tottenham team. They've been really up and down all season. incredibly inconsistent. So Ange won't be taking anything for granted in terms of next Thursday with the tie being done. Absolutely not, right? So that's going to, of course, influence his team selection. Now, I spoke to Sean on Thursday night before their Europa League game, and he hinted that he expects changes tomorrow, which seems pretty obvious. And I'd be surprised if he goes full strength. And he mentioned maybe the centre-halves getting a rest and a couple of the attacking players, which they've got, a decent amount of reinforcements with, listed injuries at the moment for Tottenham. They're a funny side, aren't they? Because, their league position suggests they've been absolutely awful, but they can just turn it on, can't they? Like, they can be absolutely woeful. But then it seems like whenever I've watched them recently, like, they've turned it on and they've been pretty decent. Like, they took a goal lead up at Anfield on Liverpool's big day. Granted, of course, they got rolled over pretty significantly in the end. But there's bright spurts there, and listen, he's going to go at the end of the season, Ange, by all accounts. Most fans are saying that Ange will leave regardless of what happens in the Europa League in the coming weeks. And it's been a failure, hasn't it, really, because they seemed invincible at the start of last season. Take your mind back to November time last season. They were top of the league, doing brilliantly, and nobody could get near them. And then, of course, as things happen, people play a different style of football, and it gets worked out, and it has done. Lunacy there's been from Tottenham at some points. Utter lunacy defensively, with substitutions, with the way he's gone about games, with the way he's managed players. They're there because of him and his god awful tactics, to be honest. I would be pulling my hair out, the stuff that I've got left, if I was a Tottenham fan watching some of their games this season. The leads they've chucked away, the goals they've conceded, it's been really poor, and they're expecting a change in manager in the summer. Having said all of that, they'll probably turn up and dominate tomorrow. Listen, it is going to be interesting, because if these players cannot get up for this game, then they just will not bother. Get rid of them all, right? If there cannot be 100% effort from minute 1 to minute 90 tomorrow, sack them all off. Because this is a big game. We're not going to get the Millwall derby next year. They were crap enough to not get in the playoffs today. So again, next season, Spurs is the derby, right? We need to have it. The fans should bring a little bit tomorrow, but the players have got to give the fans something, right? Because people are just disillusioned by it. I stood and I actually waited after a defeat to see what happened when the fans came over at Brighton away last week. I don't often do that, but I waited to see, because I was intrigued about the reception they get. Listen, I could create a headline and say all the fans were having a right go at the players. It was pretty half and half. There was a few claps of appreciation, probably nodding to the better performance that we saw, but then there was a lot of people that were throwing arms and like, come on, like, what's going on, and getting angry and saying some words that I'm not going to repeat at this time of the day and on this family friendly show. So there's some increased and real simmering and nearly boiling anger and tension within the fan base, and you can always see that reciprocated most clearly through the away following. And there was a bit of a turn last week at Brighton. It was Brighton the last game, wasn't it? I'm not completely. It was, yeah. Last week there was a bit of a shift in the fan base. It's been, all right. Potter, it's been okay. It's not been great, but there was a shift last week. There was all the chants about Fulkrug. There was some real dissatisfaction with him not playing and the way we're playing. And there was just, I haven't seen it for a while. Probably not. It was hinted in the Lopetegui days, but I haven't heard that sort of reception and that sort of atmosphere in an away end at points since the real dark days of Moyes. He's got to turn this around, Potter, and he's got to do it fast. If we keep going like we are, don't be surprised if they pull the plug on him before the summer or even in the summer and just start again, completely forget this season ever existed, because it's been a car crash, right? I've seen some encouragement from some of the performances over Potter's reign so far, but last few weeks has been really dire, really dire, and it's got to change. Otherwise, I don't think the fans will stick to it anymore. Corner kicking coming, Rice off. Arteta, the genius. Wasn't that fantastic to see them unravel this afternoon at home to the Cherries? The mighty Bournemouth turning things round and taking all 3 points away from the Emirates second. They might not even get second at this point. If they keep going like this, they might be third again. Ole, ole. Spurs are like us, inconsistent, absolutely. Gooner's going to lose second. Arteta the great. Wouldn't it be brilliant? We've only won 5 games at London Stadium. That's crap. Is that this season? Only 5 games at home. It's diabolical, isn't it? What if we played 16 games at home? 5 wins. Come on, got to be doing better than that. Got to be doing better than that. Fans have been bad, but so have the players. I thought it was actually quite, to be fair, at Brighton last week, it was, but when we went 2-1 up, it was a lot more energetic than I thought it would be. And it was a bit of a party. The sun's out. Nobody really bothered. And then that whole just unraveling happened, and it turned to anger pretty quickly. I just stood and observed people's anger. And listen, you can understand it. The way we lost and the way we've been going about games and the lack of identity in our team and squad is worrying. It's a real worry. And in the back of my head earlier, as I was doing the watch along for the coverage for the race for promotion in the Championship, I'm thinking, which team's coming up here, and are they going to be a threat to us? Right? Are they going to be a threat to us going back down? Which one of these 3 teams is going to stay up? Leeds, Burnley, or one of the others? That's in my head already, right? And it's consciously just circulating around the back of my head that we're in for a fight next season, a real relegation dogfight, unless we can drastically change things, because those players are not playing for the manager. Those players are disillusioned themselves. Internally, there's big problems there, fights, disagreements, no real team morale. You can see that, that's evident, and that is represented on the pitch by the way we play and the lack of effort. And it's a team of individuals, and there's no doubt there's talent in that team. There's talent everywhere. There's a plethora of talent in that West Ham team, but the issue is it's a team of individuals. There is no big captain ordering and getting the troops together and trying to really bring us together. We're missing a captain. Bowen is not that, and it's taken a player that's been out with an injury all season to come out in a post-match interview, swear a bit and have a bit of a go, for anyone to really recognise and try and get some sort of mentality in the team. A player that's played in the Champions League final, a player that's played at the very highest level, has gone, hold your horses, we have been awful here. And it needs someone with the balls to come out and say that. Shifting change is needed at West Ham, and it's going to need to be drastically big if we're going to see anything like what we enjoyed and under the Moyes era. Unfortunately, we're in for a dark season next season, I think, unless things change around. And we're letting a lot of players go. And my big concern is letting Souček go, to be honest with you. He scored 8 goals this season. You take those 8 goals away, we're down, right? We are going down. And he's not the most exciting player with the ball at his feet, but he scores goals, and he's a threat in the air. He's an aerial threat, and he's a really important player. And Potter doesn't like him, clearly. He's he's fallen out of favour there along the way, and Moyes is going to eat him up in the summer, and we're going to find ourselves facing even bigger problems. There we go. That's a bit of a rant for what's coming up. But in terms of this on Sunday, listen. I spoke about Tottenham and their inconsistency, but you can also mirror that with West Ham as well, because inconsistency has been the story of our season so far, and I don't see it changing. You'd like to think this game is going to rally the troops and it's going to increase some sort of work ethic and passion and pride and desire within the team. I'm not going to hold my breath, but let's just hope, shall we? In terms of team selection, you cannot, please, Potter, if you're watching this, I know you're not, but if you're watching this, please don't put Souček and Ward-Prowse in the midfield together. It is genuinely one of the most painful things anyone has got to watch. It's worse than watching snooker, right? A Souček and Ward-Prowse midfield is worse than watching snooker, and that is saying something. It's dysfunctional. You've got 2 players doing the same bang average thing with the ball at their feet. Ward-Prowse is the most average footballer I've ever seen and is not influencing any game of football. But he might score a free kick. Yeah, he hasn't scored one at West Ham. I don't see what he brings. Souček brings his aerial threat, granted. But you've got to have somebody creative in there with Paqueta as well. Or even Alvarez, Souček and Paqueta. That's a far better midfield than Paqueta, Ward-Prowse and Souček. I mean, you've got murmurings that Alvarez has fallen out and he's never going to play for West Ham again because he don't like Potter. It's rotten from top to bottom, and it's a big concern for West Ham. Let's have a look here. Spurs are like us. BFG said it in one word. Right, where did I get to? 2-1 win. Optimism. 1-1, 4-1 Spurs. Right, let's scroll down. Put a few heavy tackles in. It's the only way I can see us winning it. embroil them and descend it into a battle. Make it a bit of a scrap. Let's make this a proper derby, not just the emotionless, careless gallivanting that we've been doing for months on end now. Let's change that. Let's have a bit of pride and passion and effort from this West Ham team. Once Potter loses the away fans, then he's a dead man walking, and he is literally flirting with the prospect of that. That was evident on last Saturday at Brighton. He is teetering over the edge of really losing the away following. And as Michael, as you said, once he loses that, then there's very little chance of coming back. For me, interesting to see the lineup. It will be in what way he goes about it. Will he be about back three, stroke five? Will he go back four? I don't know. We look dysfunctional in a back three, to be honest. Players are coming and going. At one point at Brighton last week, you had Wan-Bissaka like up front and like Todibo nearly up there with him, leaving a gaping massive hole on the right-hand side of our defence. And you had to have another player coming over, a complete and utter mess. God knows what they do in training all week, but it certainly isn't defensive organisation, because yes, we've improved defensively. Quite frankly, we couldn't get much worse, but it still can improve because we look a bit all over the place and disjointed and disorganised in that back five currently. I'm going to take a breath. Imagine Arsenal coming third in a 2-horse race. Oh dear. Okay, home fans. Yeah, of course. So silent. Yeah, you can understand it. I really like to gear yourself up to go to a home game. It's painful, right? It's really painful. When you've got the away following and when you've got the fun that provides, and you go to a home game and it's just dead. It's just completely dead. And yeah, the football reflects that. And yeah, you can argue that the stadium has been brilliant when we've been playing good football, but the fact and reality of it is the overwhelming factor is the football on the pitch alongside the stadium. Sorry, that's the most overwhelming factor. The stadium is, and we can go down that road all you like. It's not changing, unfortunately, but home games are just such a chore. Unfortunately, and that's the state we've got in. You've got away fans not going to home games, paying the season ticket money purely to keep their away points. I mean, you don't want that as a football club. If we lose against Spurs with B team, the boom will be loud and Potter will be on very thin ice. I agree. There'll be lots of changes in the summer. The issues with the Stein signings, and I think most will go. Yeah, I do agree. Gaza, thanks for joining us. Hope you are well. That is for sure. Right. Very true, Michael. Very true. Fatty says, I'd love Graham Potter to be watching. Ward-Prowse, Souček and Soler are all the same. Drop one for a striker. No, absolutely. Alvarez has done at West Ham, which I think is a bit of a shame. I think there's a really good player in there. Yeah, he makes some rash tackles and he's got himself sent off. And I did lose my head at him at Nottingham Forest away earlier on in the season. I'll be totally honest. My head went and I punched a wall, which was not fun. Terry looked at me with a little bit of bemusement, to be honest. It wasn't a full punch. It was more of a like side punch like that. I was like, what? Because we could see him coming at Forest away when Alvarez got sent off. You could literally see him coming for 20 yards. He's on a yellow card, 42 minutes gone. He's sliding in, and he got sent off. So yeah, he has brainless, mindless, ridiculous moments like that. But he's also been really pivotal to us. I mean, in the back end of Moyes, you take Alvarez out of that team, we fell apart. Defensively, I think that's why we probably struggled a lot this season, because he's been in and out of the side. He hasn't built up any team sort of momentum. And yeah, he has regressed this season, granted, but I still think he's a really good player. I think it's a huge mistake letting him go and Souček go in the summer, in my opinion. Ward-Prowse seems to be a Potter favourite, but he needs to be dropped. Does not pass forward. Oh, sideways, backwards, foot on the ball, sideways, backwards. It's painful. It's painful. I'm not a fan. He's poor. I think that's generous. He's a 5 out of 10. No, well, I've got a more generous opinion on Alvarez. I think he's been a pretty decent player for us. I think he's been 7 out of 10 overall in his West Ham career. He's not a player that has had a lot of absolute stinkers. He's got sent off, yeah, but I've mentioned that. But he has saved us in a hell of a lot of games, and people forget that he has saved us under Moyes. How many games did he save us? A lot, in my opinion. I think he's a really, really. He will be missed dearly next season, I think. But we'll see. We'll see. Play 4-3-3 and just go for it. Win, lose or draw. At least it will look like we're trying. Have a go, right? If we lose 2-1 having a go, people won't really moan. But if we go and we lose 2-1, 2-0, just aimlessly, like not laying a foot on them and laying a glove on them, not a foot. Why would we be laying a foot on them, laying a glove on them, and just being really flat? Then there is going to be disgruntled people. There's no doubt about that. I see Moyes has peaked at Everton. He could well do. But you never know. Midfield 3, I'd pick Alvarez, Paqueta, and Soler. I go Alvarez, Paqueta, Souček. I'm undecided on Salah. I just don't know. He's a player that's just meh. Like, I really don't know. Maybe a player to keep. Maybe he'll go. Souček bleeds the club. Should be first choice of him and Salah every time. Yeah, I do agree. My prediction. I'm fighting my own battle here on my own, so I've got the full range of predictions to choose from, and I'm going to be honest. I think we're going to lose, unfortunately. I can see this being West Ham 1, Tottenham 2 quite easily. I just don't see us generating any momentum coming off the back of anything. The squad is falling apart. The morale is non-existent. The quality is evaporating, and you've got a Spurs team that have been inconsistent this season, but they're an all right side. On their day, they're a decent side, and they will swipe us away quite easily. And I've got a fear that could happen tomorrow. I'm not positive about it. 2-1 Tottenham is my prediction. I just hope that I'm proven wrong, and I hope that we see an improved performance in a bigger game that means more. Because if we can't do it in this game, then that's it. Curtains, goodbye for me. But there we go. That's my preview done. Put any more thoughts into the comment section down below. Thank you very much indeed. I've done over 2.5 hours of live streaming today, so I'm going to go to bed before my 6 o'clock start in Greg's tomorrow morning. Brilliant. Yay, I cannot wait. Thanks for watching from me. Come on, you irons. There'll be some sort of coverage. I finish work at 2, so I'll do a reaction after the Spurs game tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully, I am not disgruntled and ranting. Hopefully, I am jubilant and celebrating, but I somewhat doubt that will happen. Thanks, everyone, for getting involved in the chat. From me, come on, you irons, and I'll see you soon right here on West Ham. Thank you very much, and goodbye.